All right, we are live. I am alive. Let's see. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? I hope y'all are doing great, because I'm doing great. I'm living the dream today. So, let's see here. Gotta adjust that a little bit. Man, I guess nobody's here today. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. And, well, anyway, we're going to get started. I'm sure some of you guys are going to start joining in and all that good stuff. But if we haven't seen, hey, everybody, if we haven't seen the video I just put out from Lantana, yeah, that was a very, 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 very crazy day. Very crazy. Yeah, it was probably one of the most scariest days I've had yet. So, but if you guys haven't seen that video, definitely check that video out. I will keep you updated. So we've got Army Ranger 652. He's here. We've got Levy Farr. They're hanging out. Dr. Sean Berry. He's here. Angel's here saying, "What's up, brother?" We got Rambo Rob saying, "Hey, yo." And like I said, I'm just really chilling. If you guys have questions, I will definitely try to answer them. If you have questions for me or have questions about anything about what's going on. But today is going to be just kind of a rambling kind of day. We've got Texas GT. They're hanging out. My favorite gun company, it's a tough one. I really do. I've always had a thing for Glocks. Glock is what I do carry normally. I do like the H&Ks, just about any of them. They're all pretty well made. The Smith & Wesson, that's another really good one. Those are probably three of my favorites, but Glock is right there at the top. We've got Chris Gilbert there, he's saying hanging tough. We've got Miguel Perales, he's saying buenas noches. What's up, brother? And we've got Christian Sandoval, he's hanging out. Beware of the false flag attacks, Seattle 11/3/19. Yeah, I'm worried about red flag laws. That's going to be one thing that I'm really kind of not really thinking it's going to happen, but it's always a concern, especially whenever I go out and I do these open carry things around the state. But let me see. Nothing, just chilling. I just got home from dinner. I don't know if he's watching, but Randy, the armed cyclist, we were out, me, his wife, himself, and we were all hanging out having dinner and just having a good time. It's always cool to hang out with Mr. Armed Cyclist. And I said the wife, Shauna, my wife Shauna, she was there too. I love her. What's up, Deanne Marie? How you doing? And yeah, Wilson combat barrels or Novsik barrels. Me personally, I'm a BCM guy. BCM makes a really good barrel. Long as you're picking barrels that are treated, God man, I'm having a brain fart, guys. I've had so much going on. But long as they're heat treated to a point, I think it's cold barrel forged or something like that. I think that's one of the strongest ways they make barrels. So anything that's cold forged like that is probably going to be the better one. But let me I'm looking Wilson combat barrels. Let's see. Yeah, no, they look like a well-made barrel company. I'm sure they make other things, but yeah. Accuracy 416R rifle rated steel on computer controlled equipment. List of technical specs: hand polished, feed ramps, CNC markings. Yeah, from what it looks like, Wilson Combat looks like a good barrel company. I don't know too much about them. The barrel that I actually want to get for my AR is going to be it's going to be a BCM barrel and a BCM bolt carrier, and that's going to be the heart and soul right there. Right now I have an Aero Precision lower and a Aero Precision upper, and that's all the pieces I have. I need everything else. So in time, I'll eventually get there. Just right now, I've got baby things to take care of. Yeah, I just can't get away from it. I mean, I've fired other firearms, and some will actually feel a lot better. It's just I don't have enough time with something else, and it's hard to teach old dog new tricks and things of that nature. Dr. Sean Berry, my shoulder still hurts. I'm actually going to the doctor tomorrow. I had a lot to do today. I would have done it today, but a lot of things were going on. But I'm going to the doctor to have my shoulder looked at again. It's more the left one, and it really gets really sore as I start to rotate backwards. But once again, that's half of what the problem was before, and I've gone through it before, and yeah. What's up there, Mr. Decipher? Yeah, man, it's just a Q&A talk, man. We're just out here shooting the stuff. Yeah, definitely, Chris Harris. Guns aren't cheap. This lifestyle we live with our firearms is not a cheap lifestyle. I mean, even the ammo is expensive. So no matter what you're doing, it's always expensive. But I am going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened, not with me, but with down in West Palm. There was a group of guys, 3 guys in West Palm in a parking lot, and I found out it was an off-duty Palm Beach sheriff officer or something to that effect. I believe he got fired. He was on administrative leave, but he came up to these guys and was like dropping F-bomb, get the F out of here, you guys get the F out of here, or something's going to happen, and blah-de-da-de-da. So he drew his firearm and tapped it on the gentleman's, the guy's car, and the passenger, I believe, was recording it the whole time. And I think there's a video out there, but some of the videos have kind of disappeared, or somebody deleted them or something. I don't know. But they had an interview with the gentleman that I saw from 2 days ago, and the guy he's actually really scared of retaliation. He said he didn't want to give up his name. They kind of just did a shadow view of him. They they videotaped his shadow, and I was completely in awe that I have respect for law enforcement. The biggest issue we have with law enforcement is that there are bad cops that give good cops a bad name. And we're starting to see, I mean, especially with technology, cell phones, GoPros, dash cams, you name it. And we're starting to catch these officers a lot more, and they are being called out. And, for the First Amendment auditors, I give them very, very much credit for the things that they do. And anybody that actually catches law enforcement doing something wrong or doing something positive, if you see an officer doing something great, doing something positive, you should also want to show them in a good light. But right now, we're seeing a string of law enforcement officers, not only in Lantana, West Palm, across the state. They out in Fort Worth, Fort Worth, Texas. A lady was playing video games with their 8-year-old, or I think it was an 8-year-old son or nephew or something, and she was shot dead because the cop was on her property. And there's a lot of things that are getting out of control, and law enforcement always say they're there to serve and protect, but we're seeing a lot of them that are not following that. I mean, and it's really getting scary, even for me. For me on Friday, that was an extremely scary day because I was trying to follow his orders. I was getting down, face down. I got some of the things he said to me were a little conflicting, and that's when he got really serious and said he was going to shoot me. And I mean, it was really, really, really scary. So good, for those good ones, I want I want them to be known as good cops, because, you know, some good cops get a bad name because of bad cops. And once again, there's too much technology and too much going on that are really, it's getting very, very scary that people, that law enforcement are overstepping their boundaries and killing people and violating people's rights like they did me. So I'm going to get back to some of this. Yeah, Dr. Sean Barry, I hope so. I will let you know more. It's still really new in what's been going on with it. So I can't really, I can talk about kind of what you're seeing, but other than that, whenever the next step part happens and when it happens, I will let everybody here know. And just like I always do, I'll let you guys know. Any updates about anything, I'll let you know. I hope to meet you in a few weeks. I'll be in Clewiston. In a couple weeks, if you guys don't know, we are having another open carry one over in Tampa. If you are from the Tampa area, it's going to be on November 6th, and it's right downtown Tampa. I believe it's like there's a fishing pier or dock or whatever right across the street from the Tampa Bay Arena, the Tampa Bay Lightning Arena. I'll put the link for the fishing gathering that we're having. I will put that in the link below after this video is up, so that you can, if you're in the Tampa area or you just want to come out and you drive, whatever. I'm traveling almost 3.5 hours to go there. So if somebody wants to drive an hour, please come up, and I'll put all that stuff in the links or in the description below. My rifle didn't get a bunch of scratches on it, but it does have some minor, I mean, when I say minor, most of it can probably be kind of buffed out with some the quadruple O steel wool. I did document some of it, but like I said, a lot of it was very minor. Minor scratches. It didn't mess up anything, so hopefully eventually I'll end up finishing my AR, my real AR, and everybody else be like, "Oh, you're not carrying your 22 anymore?" I actually like carrying it because it's not heavy. The one thing I could say about that rifle is that it's probably about 5-6 pounds, and I can carry that thing pretty much all day. I've carried a couple AR-15s, and they're about anywhere from 10 to 12 pounds. Some of them lighter, some of them heavier, depending on what you got going on. But yeah. Yeah. Man, having our government step into law enforcement world, I don't know why they would do that, local government, when you've got federal. I mean, I don't really agree with it, but if they're really struggling, like they are struggling in certain states where crime is just extremely bad, and they've already talked about sending in the National Guard to help in Chicago, Baltimore. There are some serious issues across the state, or across all states, and depending on their crime levels, the government almost feels like they have to start stepping in to assist or help kind of control the chaos, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully I don't see a lot of them down here in Florida, but whatever. Greg Carr, what are the red flag laws in Florida? Basically, how the law is written, or how it's written right now, they're still trying to go up and down about it, but family members, like anybody that is proximity to family or really close friends or something to that effect, basically, if they see that they deem or they think that you're a harm to yourself, others, and things of that nature, they in turn go to the police. The police then go to the judge, or they basically go against due process. They skip and go without you done anything other than, like, say for instance, for me, if somebody thought I was a problem or I was a harm to myself, they could go and basically go to the judge and say, hey, he's a harmful, bad. He's bad with guns. He doesn't need them. They come, they kick my door in, they tell me to give the guns. And we've seen at least 5 or 6 instances where they go to enforce a red flag law and people have died. And, for me, if they, let's just say for shits and giggles, they come in, it's 2 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm sleeping, the first thing I'm grabbing is a gun, and they're coming in with guns. And we've seen in numerous cases where the homeowner was lawful to have a firearm, and because the cops saw him with a firearm, they shot him. There was that one instance where the cop was at the house, and he shot him through a plain glass window that was like 8 inches apart. He didn't even have a good view of him. He just saw him coming down with a firearm, and the guy shot him through the window. I don't think the guy died, but he ended up, basically suing the cops for that. So, what about a collaboration with the donut operator? I'm gonna have to. Is he a YouTuber? I'll have to look him up. But I've not heard of the donut operator. It's a very unique name. I wonder if he's a First Amendment or Second Amendment. Yo. Nut operator. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's pretty big. Yeah, I'll have to reach out to him. Yeah. Let him see
Hi
some.
everyone, Donut here. Today we're going to talk about my son John's first gun. You see, he turned 10 years old, which means he's old enough to go to...
Awesome. Yeah, seems like he's very pro 2A. He says he was ex-law enforcement. Seems like he wants people to be held accountable as well. So, yeah, I'll have to keep my eyes on him and see what he's got going on. I hope that explained the red flag law. Basically, it's an unconstitutional law where people can basically say, hey, you're a harm to yourself or others without being a harm to anybody when you have done absolutely nothing. I don't say I'm going to do bad things. I would never do anything bad to somebody unless somebody tried to do harm to me. There's a difference. So I don't believe that red flag laws would impact me, but there's, I am being seen in the public eye through my videos, in the news media, especially lately. I've been in the news media a few different times, and the message is getting out there. And I'm not saying like I'm this big public figure. I'm still just Mike. I'm just solely Ecker. But at the end of the day, I know I'm starting to get bigger, and the information is traveling through multiple departments, through the FDLE. I heard from a friend that has somebody within the FDLE. They have actually had meetings and talks about me. I know of at least 3 or 4 different counties that have sent out notifications about me, and others. And it's not that I don't care, but it's just it's like I am that target. They know that I go around carrying firearms, and it's scary that if somebody wanted to try to do it, and after it all gets said and done through the courts, and I get my firearms back, which could be up to 2 to 5 years. You may not be able to have a firearm for up to 2 to 5 years. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, alarming circumstances. And I mean, even for me, like I said, they say it's alarming when you're just expressing a right. So I don't agree with any of that. Yeah, hopefully not. You guys got a pretty big Moms Demand action over there too. We'll find out. November 2nd, if you guys can come out to the open carry gathering, the fishing gathering we're having. Like I said, it'll be in the links below or in the description below. And it's going to be on November 2nd. I believe it's right across the street from the Tampa Bay Lightning Arena. So, I mean, it's like right spit downtown in Tampa. So it will be a good day. Yeah. I hate saying it, man, but you know, some of these law enforcement guys are starting to step into that world where they think they just have the right to stop me or stop anybody and demand your ID and demand this and violate rights. It's starting to get very, very annoying. Chris Harris says education is always a problem for cops. I don't fault some of them though. Let's be honest, these guys walk into a station with a wall that has bolos of all sorts of dangerous stuff. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I have that respect that they do have a hard job and they have to decipher things within a moment's notice. But I can definitely say on my half, you know, for the last probably year, I walk around, I'm carrying either a United States flag. I've been lately carrying that American and Gadsden flag, the mixed one. I usually like the Gadsden flag here. I have the Florida State flag sometimes. I travel around with these flags and I fly them. And if if a 3 by 5 foot flag doesn't draw attention, and like I say on the other half, the criminal side, most criminals aren't where they're not waving a flag and carrying fishing poles and fishing tackle and all this stuff while they're committing crimes. You know, they could. It's feasible, but you know, I don't think like a criminal, so I don't really think about it. I just think of I try to draw the attention to myself to where they're like, all right, this guy's he's out here he's not doing anything. He's out here probably just promoting for gun rights, or he's out here, you know, if I was protesting or whatever, you know. And I think they need to start doing a better job of assessing a situation before going in guns drawn and violating rights, you know. And that goes for anybody, you know, whether it be the guys in West Palm Beach that had the cop tap the gun on their car, or, you know, the fatal shooting and what, you know, they need to start being held more accountable for these instances. I understand their job is extremely hard, you know, it's not for everybody, but they also accepted the job. They also took that oath of upholding the Constitution and protecting and serving the public. And when we don't see, like, and I keep saying, we see good cop stuff, you know, but we more often than not, and especially more recently, as we've gotten more dash cam footage from people's cars of them trying to either plant drugs or whatever the fact may be, or people wearing more, you know, body cams in their glasses, or even just wearing GoPros or cam phones in general. You know, there are more people out there right now that are armed with technology through video, and I that's why I say I think it's really more important for them to start doing a better job of, I guess, being more aware of their situation and what is going on for the situation. I mean, obviously, if the guy has been seen let's just say there's some guy and he's pointing guns at people, he's screaming and yelling and making, go in, cops need to go in. They need to really look at this guy, and if he's pointing guns at people, that's a crime. If I was out there pointing guns, I deserve it, but I wasn't out there pointing guns. You know, I wasn't doing anything unlawful, walking down sidewalks, walking down the you know, in the road right there to get to the fishing spot. And, you know, it's just, you know, and at no point, like even when I'm walking, at no points did I slow down when I was approaching him. I thought he was going to get out and say, hey, stop there. I just want to see your hands up. Don't touch the gun, type of thing, maybe. But I was, you know, I was wrong, and I'm glad it didn't turn out a lot worse. Chris Harris says face down with an AR and a flag is generally gonna be a bit of a difficult way to respond to. Yeah. I just, you know, I feel for law enforcement, but that I just think they need to do a better job in general. Yeah. Yeah, I'm 40 years young, man. I know I look like a baby, but I'm starting to get older too, man. And I don't like getting on the ground. Nobody wants to get face down on the ground. Why? Nobody wants to go through that. Anybody that's ever been in that position, nothing feels good about you having guns pointed at you and having to be told to get on the ground or you're going to get shot. Nothing's scarier than that. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think it is. I even try to do. I've done like little like the doctors told me take cans and just do the motions and try to go through them to strengthen it. But at this point, it hasn't ever gotten better ever since Miami. I mean, it's always hurt. I mean, it hurts especially if I overstrain it or something. But when your arms are just when they're pulled behind my back like that, it's painful, and it doesn't and it usually doesn't take long before it starts hurting. Um, yeah. Greg Zoom says it will be hard to get bad cops off the street when they always have an internal investigations on themselves. Yeah, it. That's the hard part, man. Is we want them to be held accountable, or we need them to start getting. I mean, I don't know if it's better training, better what. I'm not in their position to tell them how to do their job. I just know that I think things could on their end can be handled a little bit better. I'm not, obviously when the gunshots are happening, they're the ones that have to respond unless one of us happens to be, it could happen anywhere. It could be, been there, done that, that has a guy shooting up a place. It's his responsibility to first take care of himself and then decide if he wants to engage. I'm not saying you would do this, been there, done that. I saw your name and I figured I'd use it. So, but it's up. Our first and foremost for me is to take care of myself and my family. If my family or anything are in a situation where there's some kind of something like that going on, my first goal is to get them out of the situation and get them protected. My second goal, if I can, would be to assist and try to stop anything I could, you know, and it's based on, for me, it is my family. I want to see myself grow up, and I want to see my daughter grow up, and all that stuff. But I also want to protect other people's lives, and I don't think I could just sit by the wayside and and let something like that go on. I would have to try to engage at some point. Once again, family with me, get my family out of harm's way type of thing, and then address it. If I'm by myself and I have time to, address something and I can, help, I would. So it's all situational. You have for anybody, it's always take care of yourself first. Or you do however you want. For me, it's take care of me and my family, get them out of harm's way, and then deal with the situation after. Yeah. Yeah, we need definitely more liability. I think that's the one is that they need to have more liability for the things that they do. Uh, I have not. If you haven't seen the video, go to that video. All the information is on there. I have to call them tomorrow to get the police report and things of that nature. So that's probably the extent of my phone calls to them because I don't really want to. I'm not going to get in a shouting match or really try to aggravate it anymore. I just want the information so that I can give all my information to whoever I got to give it to, let them see it, let them review it, and then I'll give you more information after that. But first and foremost is they didn't have body cam, so there's going to be, I don't believe there's any other body cam footage, any other video footage. So there's only going to be a police report, and that's about it. Oh, they said people were calling, so There may be some 911 calls. I personally, I was there all of 3, 4, 5 minutes. I was just making that walk because I was just making that walk. And it was 5 minutes. I mean, phone calls could have came in, but, I didn't encounter a lot of people. People saw me walking that were driving. That could have, anybody could have called. It seemed to be it happened so fast. I don't think, I just don't, I don't know. Yeah, Simulation 70 says he has that same Smith. Yeah, I love it. I actually bought it for my when he turned 14. I bought it from him for his birthday. Took him to the range a few times. He may get into it, but as of right now, he's not really in the interest level of that. So, Wrights Crispy, I saw you just a minute ago, man, and appreciate you for coming in. Red Flag. Yeah, you're not going to find the red flag laws in the Constitution, but it's a law that I think that it's either been passed or they're trying to continue to pass it. So there's a lot of stuff going on in there. We got Booger Dog. He's hanging out. Yeah, he's in Sarasota. He's a good guy too. I heard about him. Yeah, buy a CMMG Banshee AR-15 9mm with a 5-inch barrel, almost no recoil. I'm right now. I'm tossed up in the air. I can still right now, because I don't have any other parts. I can still choose between 300 Blackout and 223 5.56. I personally, I think I'm probably going to go 5.56 only because the ammo is going to be cheaper than the 300 Blackout. But I do want to, and I'm the first one I'm building is going to be a rifle. It's definitely going to be, it's going to probably going to be 16 inches on the dot or 16.1. It's whatever. It's just going to be at the 16-inch level. I do want a pistol, but I think I'll chamber that in 9. And so AR-9 pistol and AR-15 sounds good to me. I just got to get the money. Got to get the money, honey. Yeah. What's up, Florida Roleplay? How you doing, brother? We got Simulation 7. He says those red flag laws have to go solo. If you're elected, you have to get rid of it. Yeah, that's going to be a huge one, getting rid of red flags. But they're looking at it at the federal level, and that's going to be the hard part. Is if they go federally with it, there's only so much I can do once they pass it federally. So. You're Travis T. You're never late, man. We're just sitting around shooting the breeze. I'm just out here kind of rambling. People ask questions. I've been kind of just rambling about Lantana. We touched, if you didn't hear about the 3 guys in West Palm that the officer tapped his gun on their car. We were talking about that. Hey, what's up, tacos and French fries? The Miami case is getting closer and closer to the 2-year mark. From what they told me, it's going to be it could take up to 2 years. It could take even longer. This kind of litigation this is a very, very long, lengthy ordeal. It is not something that goes in and goes out. So, but I will keep you up to date. That's another one that is coming. So hopefully when we get around that 1.5 to 2 year mark, I will have more information. But as of right now, that lawsuit did get filed. It has gone through to the state. I believe Miami tried to, dismiss it or cancel it or do whatever, saying it wasn't a lawful or whatever. That'll probably more than likely get denied. And then from there, it'll go back and forth, and then they'll come up with a court date. Then we go through all the other stuff. So as that stuff happens, I'll let you know. Yeah. If you're okay, let's be honest. If you're mentally incapable of carrying a gun, you are generally not going to have the mental capacity to say, take my guns. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, we don't. We still have a Baker Act, and that's a form of a red flag. But the Baker Act is really for those people that have family, and usually that's involving them being suicidal. That's usually what happens with Baker Act stuff, or they get really messed up on drugs and they get Baker Acted to try to help them get them off drugs. And usually that's within the family units. That's going to be moms, grandmas, uncles, aunts. Usually it's within that, unless the person's out on PCP and they're all just wasted or something, and I could see them getting Baker Act for that because they're probably acting like a friggin' nutbag. Yeah. I'm going with you for sure, my friend. Florida Roleplay says, I'm going with you, Mike, for sure, my friend. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, the donut operator, I think I've seen him, but I like I said, I just subscribed to him. I didn't really watch him too much, but I'm going to start watching him. Okay, there's they. Okay. Steve and Jenny, I don't own a gun, but where do I start the process? I'd like to get a small handgun for my protection. Well, I'm going to give you a really good one to start out with. It's a chance to win a free firearm. So if you're still here, you need to go onto my page. I'll put that link in the description after we're done with this. But it says who wants to win a free firearm. You have a choice between 9mm. For you, I would recommend 9mm. And then you would choose it. If you happen to win, you would win the 9mm. I would send that to your FFL. Your FFL is going to be any type of gun store, Bass Pro, your gun shop, or if you know somebody that's an FFL dealer, you can have it shipped to them. But I will basically go purchase the firearm, have it shipped to you to your FFL. You will fill out your paperwork. They will make sure that you're not a convicted felon or anything. That's our background checks. So anytime you hear people say, "Oh, there's no background check, we need universal," we have background checks when you purchase firearms through dealers. If you were to know your best friend and he wants to sell you a firearm, private sales do not need an FFL dealer. That's a private sale that is completely legal. So start there. My other thing would be go to a gun range. Most gun ranges will have a pretty decent selection of firearms that are very mostly commonly used, and most of those are probably going to be really good starter handguns or rifles. If you're looking for a handgun, look at the Smith & Wesson. If you're looking economic, you can go like the Taurus G2. I believe that's right around the 200, 300, 250 range. The Smith & Wesson Shield, not the 2.0, but the Smith & Wesson Shield, that one's right around 300. I've seen it a little lower. That's a good way to go for the inexpensive. If money's not an issue, go with Glock. You can go with SIG. You can go with H&K. You can go. I mean, there's just so many. I would actually tell you to go out to a gun range, put the firearms in your hand, or even go through the gun shop and say, hey, can I? I'm interested in buying a firearm. I would like to see, a few different firearms, and really try to find one that kind of fits your hand. Because all right. This is a Glock 23. The way it fits on my hand, it's not like I'm not short gripping it and I'm not over gripping it. It just kind of sits and goes into my hand nice, and it has a nice firm grip for me, especially when I go in and I kind of grab and I present the firearm. That's what I would tell you is get into a gun range, get into the gun shops, and actually hold firearms. That's their job in those shops, is to really help you out trying to find a firearm, because they want to sell a firearm, and they're always going to try to push the most expensive, but find something that fits your hand. If it happens to be an expensive gun, it happens to be an expensive gun. If it happens to be an inexpensive gun, long as the firearm is reliable, even some people can bash the Taurus or even the High Point. they're reliable to the point that they will fire. You know, I've seen a lot of videos on the high point, a lot of you know, people talking about it and saying, you know, some people just bash it to death, but the firearm is actually pretty reliable. It will take a beating and keep on. You know, I've seen them where they've shot it with a shotgun, picked it right back up, bang, and it shoots. So, and most people aren't going to abuse their firearms like that, but you know, the Taurus high points, not taken away from a high point, but the Taurus, the Smith and Wessons are great. They have a great entry level with a very good reputation behind their firearms. Glock, been around forever, was used by the military, law enforcement, and so on. Another reliable, and the difference between I'd say the two is you're going to probably pay $100 to maybe $200 more for a Glock compared to those. Shop around, look around. So, yeah. Joe Taxis. Joe Tackett says free men don't ask for permission to exercise their natural born right, and I wish that was the case, and you're 100% right, and I want to get Florida to that level. So in time, if I get elected and all that good stuff, we will make Florida one of those free states where we have those freedoms. Yeah, free men pay for freedom in blood, sweat, and tears, and that's half of the activism I do. Is I put out a lot of blood, or not blood, but definitely sweat. I don't want to ever bleed blood for. Hopefully, I don't. It's good blood from, like, you know, getting hooked in the finger and I pull a hook out and I start bleeding, or a fish bites my finger, something like that. That'd be. Now, sure. Where'd it go? Yeah, Stephen Jenny. A gun course is not mandatory until you want to either get a concealed weapons license, or if you're actually a hunter and you take a hunter here in Florida anyway, and you take your hunter safeties course, you can turn that around and actually go get a concealed weapons license with the hunter safety, or you take a concealed weapons license. So both of them are, you know, good. So, yeah, thanks guys for helping me out. You know, these are good questions. If you know, a lot of times, you know, people are that, especially that are on the fence with firearms, that want to know more. Those are my targets. Those are the ones I really want them to understand what the Second Amendment really means, and why it's so important to have it, and why it's important for firearm safety. I mean, even for them, they may never own a gun, but at least maybe they want to own a gun to protect themselves, but they're scared, or they're unsure about things, about laws, or how to go about it. And, you know, those are awesome questions. You're never late, CB. Glad you made it. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it was a crazy day. And I will shoot you. Let me see here. Yeah, it was a crazy day. But yeah, you know, and depending on what happens, hopefully it all works out and everything is all peachy keen after it's all said and done. But for right now, you know, the scariest thing that day was when he said he would shoot me, and I was just trying to follow his commands. That was the scariest. I would definitely say the scariest part about the whole thing. Man, what did I do with that video? But anyway, so back to it. Don't forget, we have on November 2nd, we've got this great open carry gathering in Tampa. I will get that link to everybody on here. And that is going to be November 2nd. That's going to be a great day right across the street from I believe it's the Tampa Bay Lightning Arena. So that will be an amazing day. I mean, downtown Tampa, how could you go wrong?
What does law enforcement?
Yeah, I hear you. Control C. Steve and Jenny, I'm going to put that link into the comments so that you can. This is the video, everybody. If you want to get a chance, watch this video. and it will tell you how to enter if you haven't already entered into this contest. You know, it's not. I haven't gotten I've probably gotten about 40 to 50 of them, but you know, I'm always looking for more. Yeah, I think I saw somebody ask when's the next Miami. It's probably going to be northern Miami. I don't think they have set a date on it yet, but we are going to be going to somewhere, I believe, in maybe north Miami. Yeah. So what's up? How you doing? Thanks for joining in, Lee Schaefer. And I've just been kind of chatting about if people have questions, trying to answer what I can. We talked a little bit what happened down in Lantana. You know, if you haven't seen that video, gets out, points a gun at me, tells me to get face down on the ground. Pretty crazy. Very, very scary day. And you know, and I think that is what detours a lot of people from doing this open carry stuff, is that, you know, they've seen the bad cops, they've seen people get guns drawn on them, they've seen the police interactions that are not so positive. And the one thing that keeps me going is you know, I don't want guns pointed at I don't want police interaction. I understand why there's a police interaction, but I personally don't want it. The reason I do it so much is the education half. It's not just about telling people about their open carry rights. It's about talking about their gun rights, about them trying to infringe on the Second Amendment. You know, talking about red flag laws, talking about what could possibly happen, because everybody's like, oh, it's not going to start a civil war and this and that, and you might be surprised how many people. How many people probably will not turn their firearms in. You know, like, let's just say hypothetically that nutbag bet Robert Francis O'Rourke, if he became president, he's saying he's going to come get him. I'd love to see it. You know, that's one person that he's going to try to, if he was to be elected, he'd try to enact a law that he would never himself go and try to enforce. And you know, if you're going to tell me you're going to come get him, then you better buy well, come get him. And then he's going to have to depend on law enforcement and the military to basically confiscate 300 million guns, or let's just say they keep saying, oh, there's 16 million AR-15s. There's 16 million AR-15s and 300 deaths by rifles, and not all of those rifle deaths are with AR-15s. I mean, like, there's 16 million of these guns, and they don't just go randomly killing people. It's always the person, and that's, once again, accountability. Everybody wants to put blame on our tool of choice, one of the most used sporting rifles out there, and all they want to do is demonize it and take it away, which is, once again, an infringement on our rights, a huge infringement. And then they take away one, then they start leading to, oh, well, they're not doing it with this, they're doing it with that. Now they go after that one. They're like, well, since we've already done this, why don't we just all ban them all? And you know, they say these gun buybacks, or their mandatory buybacks, or their government buybacks, or whatever you want to call them. The government has never bought me a gun. I've purchased all my guns by myself with the money I earned, not their money. And they want to give me money, the money I give them for my guns. Does not make us. When they start buying the guns for me, then I'll turn in the guns they buy for me. But until that day happens, I ain't turning them in. I'm not giving them up, not willingly anyway. So, yeah, you're 100%. The military is going to have a lot to deal with in general. So, yeah, all the stuff, you know, I put that in the FOIA request. So I say I want any videos, any dash cam or body cam footage. I want all that. I want the police report. I want the 911 calls. And that's usually the 3 or 4 that I actually go after. And then I usually go after those, and once I get them, and then, you know, if anything else happens to pop up or things of that nature, then I'll just keep getting FOIA requests until I've obtained all the information that I want. Yeah, I'm glad to see Rights Krispies. If you guys haven't subscribed to Rights Krispies, great First Amendment auditor. He hangs out with Rogue Nation, another great First Amendment auditor. Those guys are, once again, they're actually pretty civil. I've seen some pretty blatant, like really, I'm not calling them rude, but the way they come off is very yelling and confrontational. I won't even say confrontational. They don't want the cops to mess with them. So they're like F-bomb this, F-bomb that. Rights Krispies, James Madison audits, Rogue Nation. These guys are very professional. They know all their statutes. They know all their federal laws. They know all their federal court cases. So when these, once again, when they run into these cops that just think that because they have a badge that they're above the law and they can tell them what to do, and they're like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this. Everything changes whenever you're starting to tell them law, and and once again, if they violate those, and especially First Amendment, those are civil violations, and they're pretty serious. And when they make those big mistakes like that, once again, I want them to be held accountable. Same thing with the good cops. I want those guys to be put on. They should be put on the highest pedestal, so that people see that there are good cops. But like we were saying earlier, we're just noticing more and more lately because of we have so much technology in the palm of our hands, or even the cameras that can be as small as a pin. That the cops need to realize that even though they may be videotaping us, but we're also videotaping them. So, no. No, I'll put, like I said, Bob Buell, I'll put that link. I think it's the 2nd. If I said the 6th, I made a mistake. I think it is November 2nd. I'm gonna look at the date on my little calendar here. Yeah, it's gonna be Saturday, November 2nd. The 6th is gonna be a Wednesday. So yeah, definitely the 2nd. I hope everybody can come out. Yeah. I had a few people reach out to me and asking me if I was going to be going to DC. Me personally, the only reason I would go to DC is if I was able to carry. I don't like I know why they're going to DC and for the rally, and I wish them all the best, because it's just a long trip. It's going to take a lot of money, which I don't have right now, and it's just, if I was able to either even conceal carry or open carry, it would definitely be a little bit more fun for me, because then you're actually you're making a stance out in front of right there in Washington, to all our politicians, saying, hey, if you want them, here we are, come get them. Yeah. Hunter 87. As much as I want to go, I can't. Nightmare, he just got in here. What's up, brother? How you doing? We got Dick Hits Water 40. Yeah, that's how old I am. Yep. Yeah, 40. Lordy, I just turned 40. Booger Dog says he likes the G25 and the PT 111. And once again, those are great. They're awesome guns. Yeah, Lock, there is no replacement. Yeah, for some people, they're like, oh, it just doesn't feel good in my hands. Mine feels good in my hands. I've got fairly large hands, and for the double stack, for any like the double stack Glocks, they are a little wider. But if you start looking at I believe the Glock 43, I want to say it's the 43 single stack, right? Or no, that's a 20 the 20. I can't remember. The Glock has so many numbers. It's the Glock that has the single stack. That one is a lot skinnier, but me personally, I go with I would go with capacity compared to I mean, compared to doing single stack, unless you have the same capacity. You know, I carry 13 plus 1 with me every day. That's in, and then I also have my shut up, fuck. I'm gonna pull it out, let y'all see it. Yeah, Matthew P. He says Glock 2340, Glock 19.9. Yeah, and for those first, get out there and shoot. When I bought my Glock 23, I didn't realize how poppy it really was until I was shooting it more and more. But anyway, this right here is my appendix rig. This is my Glock 23 appendix rig. It actually fits the Glock 19. It actually fits just about all the full-size Glocks and the compact Glocks. The 17, 19, 23, 25, 26, not 26. The 20. I think it does fit the 26, but because it still has the length of the barrel, but it's just a shorter frame. But anyway, this thing is universal for a lot of Glocks. So this is for me. I carry appendix. Appendix is not for everybody. Really skinny. I'm kind of skinny guy, and it just has the sidecar for the extra holes, the extra mag, and so at all times I have 27 rounds with me ready to go. And so I always suggest find a holster. I can't even guide you in the right direction because there's so many holsters, and you really have to. You could end up buying 6 holsters before you find the one that before you actually find the one that you really is comfortable to you and you feel confident carrying every day with it. So holsters are a whole different story. Albert OC4 says, do you shoot any 3-gun? No. Competition shooting, I'm not going to say I would never do it. It's just not in my realm. Like I'm not saying I'm not a good shooter, but I'm just, I'm not, it's just, I don't think I'd gladly I would gladly get into one. I don't think I'm going to do well, but I would love to really test my skills, and see how proficient I am when you're on a timer. Everything changes when you put a timer. Like when you go to the gun range, if they do allow you to use a timer and to you may not be able to draw from your holster, but if you can kind of just go from the low ready, hit your timer, and then as soon as it goes up and you can pull and draw, putting yourself through those kind of tests and saying, all right, I want to get 2 shots on target, center mass in under a second. When you have a goal or you have something to shoot for, and then you start really seeing it, that will only make sure you're getting your shots on target. It gives you the training you really want, is that you're going to be proficient knowing that you can put 2 shots on target in a second, a half a second, if you're fast, whatever. You can get 2 shots center mass on target from drawing. A second is pretty quick, and if any of you guys get to that level, I don't think I'm at that level, but I can draw pretty quick. But it's about getting shots on target. Getting the firearm out and ready to be in the fight is crucial, but the main thing is you got to be able to hit the target. If you're just drawing and shooting aimlessly, a lot of people can get hurt from that, because once again, I think that's rule number 4 is know what's behind your target, or know the surroundings where you're shooting your bullets, or where you're shooting, because you don't want to have to hit innocent bystanders. That's why training, when we all go to the range and we buy that that big silhouette, if you're just going to shoot and have a good time, great. But I would actually suggest finding something smaller circles. I'd say like 3 to 4 inch circles. Start yourself out at 15 feet, 20 feet. And then, once again, you may not have a timer, but, say, all right, I'm going to do 3 shots. And then, you're going to have to judge yourself and see if you can get 3 shots inside that 4 inch circle at 20 feet. And then you do that for repetition. And the one thing is you want to try to push yourself until you basically fail. You want to try to go as fast as you can, but to the point where it's like, all right, I can do it in a second, but the second you go into, 3/4 of a second and you have one off target, that you need to keep, until you get better or more efficient, that you want to shoot for that 1 second interval of 2 or 3 shots in center mass. So training is always, when you go to the range, to get, to actually kind of train yourself on a goal, saying, hey, I'm only going to shoot a 3-inch circle today. I'm going to try to keep all the shots inside of it, and then see where the breakdown is, see what happened. Most gun ranges do allow you to videotape. So if you have a chance to even put, I would suggest probably something on your head so that it's looking down and you can see, whether it be hand manipulation, trigger, your squeeze. That way you can kind of play it back in your head and see where you may have where the breakdown was in your shooting. So, all right. Yeah, I would love to do some competition shooting. I just, it's money, and but yeah, a lot of money I just don't have right now. But hey, who knows? In time, if I get some extra money, it is something. Training is always crucial. I would never say no to trying to do a 3 shoot, because at the end of the day, it's training you how to basically run and gun and use three different platforms, and with a goal in mind, without hitting other targets. You're hitting IPSC targets at however many feet or whatever you're hitting, whatever kind of 3 gun it is. It's to have that training is only going to be beneficial. It shouldn't really ever hurt anybody unless they have accidental discharge while they're out there doing it, which it happens. I've seen it happen on some videos. So, and once again, that's just being proficient with a firearm. Some of those guys are professionals, and it still happens. But they're also moving a mile a minute. From their draw, from the draw to the run to the next. Things happen. Most often than not, it doesn't, but it does happen. Yeah, Albert OC, we're gonna definitely. It's somewhere. It'll be definitely close up in that northern region. It's Homestead's more in the west, but it's gonna be in that area, in those areas, because we love Miami. Yeah, if you look up the Florida Constitution, Chapter 1, I think it's Chapter 1, Section 8. Yeah, I don't like the way it's written. So, oh, bro, CB, thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. You have to do that, dude. That's huge, man. I thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got Mr. James Whalen hanging out. Hey, brother, what's going on? If you guys haven't seen, this is the Armed Cyclist. This guy, get on his channel. If you guys didn't see that amazing dismissal he had, you guys have to watch the video because it was friggin' amazing. The guy's friggin' classic. We were me, James, and my wife and his wife. We went out to eat tonight. We were all hanging out, just shooting the breeze, having some steaks, and we had a good time, man. I appreciate it. Easy Shifty, I thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome, man. For anybody, if you guys can and you want to, go to my PayPal, send it directly to my PayPal. You can do it through these live chats as well. I prefer PayPal, but either way, I mean, you don't have to, but for CB and Easy Shifty here, I thank these two for donating, and I appreciate all of it. I mean, every time you guys watch my videos, I make a little bit of money. I know I do have some affiliate links that I leave in the description. I've got a lot of flags on there, so if you ever like, oh, I like that flag, or you like the Gadsden flag, you want this Florida State flag, I've got a list of flags all through there. I've got the one weird one somebody asked me about. I've got a smoker. You can, if there's an affiliate link for a smoker on there, And if you guys are interested in a smoker, not one of those huge big ones, but it's a vertical smoker. It's a Weber smoker. It's about $300, but I've had my smoker for probably, I want to say, at least 7-8 years, and this thing, it's amazing. And once again, those are affiliate links. Look at all those links. If there's something on there that you're like, oh man, I'll get that. That money does help me as well. Chris Harris, I appreciate you, brother. And while I'm actually thinking about all that good stuff, let me put all this stuff away. Where'd my phone go? My phone. Aha. I want to give a shout out to somebody else. I'm not sure they're really Chris Harris. He's from Let's All Move to Canada. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm moving to Texas first. That's where I'm gonna move. Texas or Tennessee. Depends on if I want to run out into the woods. Let's see. All right. We've got. Notice the first thing wrong is when he went for your camera. Yeah. He was really. Oh, right. I had another guy. He sent me some money through PayPal, and his name was Jack Blaukamp. Man, I'm probably butchering his name, but his name was Jack Blaukamp. I'm gonna say Blaukamp. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but he sent me some money through PayPal the other day, and I told him I was gonna give him a shout out today. So if he happens to be watching, thank you very much, brother. I like I said, I appreciate all you guys, because all this money does go to me traveling around, getting around the state. Hopefully it just continues happening. I know that some people gun channels get demonetized after they've been up for so long, so hoping that doesn't happen. Yeah, we were just kind of talking. I'm only probably going to be on here for like another 10 or 15 minutes, guys. I got to try to do some work tonight. I drive Uber too. My wife, she pretty much works most of the time. And I just do the Uber here and there and take care of the baby and I'm trying to do more full-time than part-time YouTube. So that's why I've been trying to get out more content and try to get out on the road, or at least get out somewhere and go fish. Because the more I go out there and get content, and most of the time I want no police interactions, and if I do, they're positive. It just seems like sometimes these negative ones seem to really they grow. Yeah, welcome, Teresa. I'm not sure when you came in, but I thank you for joining in. I will not go to a place if I can't carry. Jeff Carr says he will not go to a place he can't carry. And I've after talking with James, if you guys don't know, James travels around the United States riding his bike. He does anywhere from like 40 to 70, 80 miles traveling around in Florida almost daily. He rides his bike that much. But he told me about a story of him riding his bike from Key West, or from Maine all the way down to Key West. I've heard him riding his bike across the state. He just travels, and he's a bike. He's an armed cyclist. So it's truly fitting. Yeah, and and that's another thing is that like, let's just say I did something stupid. I draw and pull a gun on anybody. As brandishing a firearm, or intent with a deadly weapon, or a aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, or whatever. I go to jail. The part that I don't agree with, that some law enforcement, because of their immunity or whatever, they get away with it, or to a point they get away with it. Like, I'm going to jail if I do it. How come at the end of the day they don't get they don't go to jail. So it really, some of those things really kind of really get to me. So, but once again, I'm not trying to bash law enforcement. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying there needs to be a little bit more accountability, or or I don't know, or training. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and tell law enforcement how to do their job, because I'm not law enforcement. How would I do things if I was a law enforcement? I was in law enforcement. Yeah, you have to be vigilant. You have to be on top of your stuff, but you want to be able to treat your community, because at the end of the day, I don't live down there, but let's say I did live down there. I would want my law enforcement to at least treat me with some kind of dignity, because at the end of the day, I am their neighbor. They may not be my direct neighbor, but we have to coexist together. And instead, it's just, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I saw you guys talking about ammo between 9mm and 10. And stopping power does make a difference. It could be the difference between only shooting once or twice. Everybody has their different opinion on, opinions on why they carry their firearm. I carry a 40 at the time, and I still have that thought process that I kind of got a little bit of both. I kind of got a little bit more stopping power than the 9, but I didn't lose as many rounds as I would with the 45. And that varies with handgun to handgun too, because some 45s have maybe a 10 to 12 round magazine, where you pick up just about, I think almost any 1911, I believe it's only a 7+1, 8+1. So you have the stopping power in 45, but you're also limited on how much ammo you have. So you're going to have to carry extra mags of that nature. And that's for me, that's why I kind of like the Glock. I like the double stack Glocks. This is the compact standard mag for the Glock 23, and 13 rounds in it, 1 in the chamber. So I carry 14 when it's ready to go. And then I also have, like I said, on that T-Rex Arms holster, I have another mag attached to it, so I have 27 rounds. Hopefully 27, if something were to happen, 27 rounds is good enough. Some people say it's not, some people say it is. Me personally, I'm going to go with capacity over larger rounds, but everybody has their different thought processes on why they carry what they carry. So I always say it's down to personal preference. What I suggest any new beginner, not even beginner, just anybody that's never really shot too many handguns and wants to get into their own handgun, or is just not sure if they want a 45 or a 9 or a 40 or a 10 or a 380 or a 38, is all about going to a gun range, getting a 9mm, shooting that, getting a 40, shooting that, and finding out which one you actually like a little bit better than the other. Hey, what's up? If you pull rounds, could go all over, and damn, yeah. And that's, we all know the 4 basic rules of handgun safety, and those are rules that, if long as you take them for what they are, exactly for what they are, most often than not, nothing is going to happen with a firearm. Things will happen, but follow those 4 basic rules. Treat every gun like it's loaded. Never point at anything you don't intend to destroy. Just know what's behind what you're trying to shoot. And I think for every gun, don't point. God, man, I'm just having a brain fart day today. But we've got and broken glass. We are coming to Tampa. I know it's a little north of Sarasota. I've got plans on coming all over the West Coast very soon. That's in my next goal. I'm going to be starting to do, once again, I'm not asking for it, but when I do make over the next couple weeks, I've got a lot of stuff going on. December will be a little quieter because, it's Christmas time, a lot of family. But December should be a good time. And then as soon as I know definitely one day for sure, New Year's Day, I will be definitely going out open carrying that day for sure. I think it is going to be on the West Coast, so keep your eyes open for where and when. I'll let you guys know. But that may be just kind of like a solo mission. Last year on New Year's Day, I open carried here in Port St. Lucie, and I had another police interaction where I ended up in cuffs. And that one didn't work out too well for me either. But I, once again got my firearms back, but I had to be treated like a criminal in the process, which always sucks. I'm going to tell you guys, being put in handcuffs, being put on the ground, or anything of the sort, or where they're threatening to take you to jail or anything, is not fun at all. I hate it. I hate it. I can't say it enough. But it is what it is. I understand law enforcement having to maybe show up to somewhat investigate what's happening, and I get it, and I don't care. Yeah. I personally, they can show up all they want. Just treat me like I have rights, and if hopefully they know the law, and that would be the other thing, is that with all like 60, 70, 80 videos out there, I don't know how people don't know this law throughout the state at this point. Deanne Marie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're an amazing girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. That's why I always try to say thank you to all my subscribers, all the new ones, all the ones that have stuck. Some of you guys have been here. Like, I've been on YouTube for about 3 years. I've been doing the open carry stuff for like almost 2. And you guys have come along this road with me, this ride, and I thank you so much. And Teresa, I thank you. I'm trying not to. Yeah, don't feel bad. We're all poor money. I don't make a lot of money. I try to do everything. Everything I try to do is just education, and these videos help me generate some extra cash that I normally wouldn't have. So I thank all of you. I thank every one of you tonight. CB, Deanne, Angel, who else? Deanne, we got Teresa. Oh man, it's not gonna let me get to the other top. I want to say it was Chris. He sent some. You guys are awesome. I thank you. I can't say it enough. Yeah, Albert OC4. Yeah, Demolition Ranch is always. He'll always have a page. He's got so many other things going for him that they could just demonetize all his videos and it wouldn't matter, because he's got so many other affiliate links, and he has merchandise. He has things that are help generating more money. So I mean, I'm sure he is making, not all of his videos, but certain, it's something about their algorithms. I don't know what they are, but there's certain things that you have to stay away from. And as long as you stay away from certain things, like I'm starting to notice, if you say, like, if you're titling certain things and you put shoot or kill, a lot of times the video gets demonetized. I remember I did a mass shooting video and it got demonetized. I asked for a review and they said it was against their policy. So it is very important to make sure that if you are a YouTuber and you're doing anything with firearms, just try to keep what you say and how you say it to a very, I'm not going to say positive light. You can do whatever you want, but you just have to be careful on certain wordings. Yeah, Crowbar 2004. Yeah, and you know some that's why I say I wish, you know, the 9mm, you're going to get a lot of capacity, and depending on what type of ammo you're using, like I use critical defense. I don't remember. I think it's 120, 160 maybe. I don't know. I can't even remember the grain on this, but I use pretty good self-defense ammo in my firearm, and you're even with the 9mm, because of the good ammo they have out now and the expansion, you can get plus P ammo. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of ammos out there that will compete up with a 40. The diameter still on the 40 is gonna be bigger, you know, bigger diameter, a little bigger hole, a little heavier weight, a little more stopping power. But you know, when you can carry around a Glock 19 that has 17 rounds compared to my 13, yes, you have more ammunition, but we're so comparable on how much ammo. I don't think I'm sacrificing. I'm actually gaining a little bit bigger round without sacrificing a lot of ammo. All right. So, like I said, thank you guys for all that money you guys donated. I appreciate that. Yeah, Popeyes, he sleeps with a 357, and I mean that's, you know, that is a big round. It's a huge stopping power round, you know, Dirty Harry style type stuff, and you know that will stop just about any. I mean, I've heard it stopping bears and things like that when they shoot them, maybe in the head or something. But yeah, that's the government. Yeah, yeah, that's half of it, man. I give respect how I get the respect. If they treat me like crap, I usually, I don't really get like vulgar. I may say some things that, you know, you can tell the frustration, but for me, I try to keep it somewhat. I try to be as civil as I can without exploding. I had one really bad exploding moment in Miami, and once again, I had guns pointed at me, and that would be the only thing that I think I did really. I won't say I did it wrong. I wish I wasn't half as educated then as I am now. When I was basically first starting when Miami happened, I think I'd been now on like 3 open carry events with a group. I was just more of a guy that was out there just trying to be another body, trying to support the cause. And that day I went from supporting the cause to full on activism. Yeah, we need Aloma says freedom for 2020. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've got Jacksonville. If you guys didn't see that other video, that was a horrific one too, man. I hated to see my buddy go through that. So yeah, you know, and once again, accountability. You know, people need people. You know, law enforcement just they need to either take their feelings out of it and start just treating people. They don't have to treat them with respect. They just have to treat them how they should be treated until they've done something wrong. They do something wrong, and they need to be arrested or whatever. Or, you know, if they're threatening with a gun, yeah, of course, draw down. You know, do what you have to do. You know, you pull up to a scene and you've got a crazy guy with a bat. You know, do what you have to do. I understand it, but you know, for some people that, you know, for let's say the First Amendment auditors out there that have been harassed and get physically assaulted by either law enforcement or whoever, you know, that's the accountability. Is like, why, just because it's a First Amendment protected activity, he just doesn't like it, so he's sitting there. You know, they basically want to assert this dominance over you, and I get that that's part. I guess they're part of their training. I guess in a way is to be the more dominant one in the situation. But it's hard to be the dominant one when somebody has done nothing. Until they've done something, why assert that kind of dominance on somebody? Because that's only going to get people hurt and killed. And you know, and we're starting to see more and more of this because once again, I'm not saying all. I'm just saying some cops think they're either above the law or whatever, and those officers, any officer, needs to be held accountable for when they do the wrong thing. So, Chris says, "Bro, if I can't hit you with 11, I'm just gonna reload a single round, hand you the gun, and lower my head." Yeah, he is joking, everybody. He's not being serious about it, but hopefully in most cases, hopefully in your self-defense, if you ever have to, hopefully you never have to, you are going to have to make whatever you do have on you count. And that's why I say when you're going to the gun range, yeah, you can grab that big silhouette, but put that silhouette at the end of the bay. Shoot as far away as you can, because you're not testing yourself on how not even, you don't have to hit dime size groupings. I'm not saying hit, give yourself a decent sized target, a 4-inch target at 20 feet, that's, if you know that your target and you're aiming for the chest, most, I would never suggest to anybody aim for the head. I mean, if that's the only shot you have, go for it. But, you can, this is where you want, is in the chest. That's going to at least start to slow them down. You hit them you have a chance anywhere in the torso up here. You got 2 lungs here, you got a heart. You hit them in the liver, in the stomach area, that's going to almost incapacitate them almost instantly. I mean, if you ever been liver kicked or liver punched or kidney punched, you drop pretty quick, and that's just a punch. Just imagine being hit with the force of a bolt of a cartridge or a bullet. How that's gonna be a whole different story, man. So that's why they say, that's why you always see, aim for the chest, aim for the chest. If you only got headshots, go for the head. If you're ducked behind a barrier and all you can do is take out his leg, take a leg out, because that's going to hinder him not be able to run away. And then you can deal with that situation because he's going to be on the ground. You can stay behind cover, and then when the police show up and he can't go anywhere because you put a hole through his leg and he can't run away, the police are going to get him. And that way you still stay safe behind cover and you've helped take care of a situation. These are all hypotheticals. These are, you never know until that day happens. And hopefully I pray to everyone here that day never shows its ugly face to any of you. I don't ever want to have to draw my firearm and point it at anybody. I've never have, and hopefully I never will. But like we always say, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But I'm coming up on the 1.5 hour mark, guys. I truly thank you. I did get all the way mostly through this. If I didn't get to your question, I do try to do this. I think I try to do it every Sunday. Sometimes, between work, taking care of the child, family, sometimes Sundays it's just not. I skip. But usually it's been at least every other Sunday. But I do, like I said, I do try to do it every Sunday. I will. More than likely will be in town next Sunday, but the Sunday after I probably will not, only because I'll be going over to the Tampa area and I'll probably be exhausted from all that stuff. Albert 04, the shoulder still hurts. I've got to go to the doctor tomorrow to have them kind of just look at it. They'll probably just give me some pain medication, and they'll probably just give me some. They give me a steroid regimen. It's like a 5 or 6 day steroid regimen, which I hate taking because I feel fucking obnoxiously annoyed. I don't know what it is about them, but I don't ever feel really that good when I take them. And then they give me some pain meds just with the inflammation, and I go through 6 days. Sometimes I need an arm sling, sometimes I don't. We'll see. It all depends on. Hopefully they're not going to, they've been talking about MRI in my shoulder. Hopefully it's not an MRI. Hopefully it's just, go through the steroid regimen. It gets better for like a month or two, and then something happens and it hurts again. But yeah. But like I said, I thank all of you, everybody that donated what they could. I appreciate it. You know, you don't have to donate hundreds. If you can donate $1, donate $1. If you can donate $500, donate $500. If you want to donate an AR-15 to me, you're more than welcome. Not asking for it, but whatever I do get from you guys does go a long way, and it does go into these travels and everything that I do. And that's why I always say I thank you, because I never thought I'd have people that don't even know me sending me 5, sending me 10, sending me 20, sending me any amount of money. It's just, I thank you, and I can't say thank you enough. If you haven't noticed, Florida Carry, get yourself a subscription. If you don't, FloridaCarry.org, go to that site, and you can do all the homework in there. Florida Carry, that FloridaCarry.org also has a few other things involved in it. It'll tell you about the House bills, state bills that are all coming. They talk about which ones are good, which ones are bad. You know, when you pull up the screen, it'll be on the left-hand side, and you'll see the whole list. So check out FloridaCarry.org. They got a really good site out there that'll help you understand the gun laws that they're trying to pass as of right now. So check it out. And if you want if you want to become a member, become a member. But don't forget, hit that like, share, and that subscribe button. I thank all of you guys hung out for this long, and I appreciate it. I can't say it enough. We've got where was he? Rambo Rob, I'll see you later. Angel, I'll see you later as well, brother. DM Marie, we're gonna see you. Chris, all you guys, I can't say it enough. I thank you. CB, Wrights Krispies, tacos and French fries. I thank all of you guys. You guys are awesome. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. Solo Acker, deuces.